Hello, I'd like to welcome everyone to today's webinar. I'm Sean Griffin, Bid Manager for Bracknell BID, and today the Bracknell BID are hosting a webinar at Thames Valley Berkshire Business Growth Hub. This webinar will cover how your local business growth hub can support your business through the pandemic and beyond. I'm joined today by Natasha Sedgwick, Marketing and Partnerships Manager, and Tony Cross, Business Champion and Finance Expert, both coming from the Berkshire Growth Hub to speak today. Today, Natasha will take you through some of the free support services available to small and medium-sized businesses in Berkshire, from business support programs and one-to-one advice to online resources and events. Tony will provide you with information on a range of finance options for your business, including startup loans, asset finance, bounce-back loans, debt funding, and Thames Valley funding escalator. Before I hand off to Natasha, if you have any questions, you may ask them in the Q&A facility. Natasha and Tony will try answering them at the end of the webinar. This webinar is being recorded, so if you are watching this webinar back, contact details will be provided at the end for any questions you may have. So without further ado, I will now hand off to Natasha and Tony.
Thanks very much, Sean. Great to be here and part of this event today. So I'll kick off by telling you who we are and what we do. So the Berkshire Growth Hub, if you haven't heard of us, we are a free business advice and support organisation. So we provide free, impartial, confidential business support and advice for Berkshire businesses. Now that includes entrepreneurs, social enterprises and local charities, as well as established businesses and startups. We're a team of experienced business advisors and experts, and we all have our different specialisms. As you can see, we're a team there of 6 people. There's actually 7 of us, and we all our main remit is to help and support Berkshire businesses. So that's what we do every day, and we have some very experienced business advisors, including Tony Cross, my colleague, who works on our Recovery and Growth Programme and is a particularly a finance expert. He's going to talk to you later about some finance options. So as the Berkshire Growth Hub, we are part of the Thames Valley Berkshire Local Enterprise Partnership, and we are funded by the government. So we are government backed, which allows us to provide all our services to businesses for free. So there is nothing to pay. We are here, we're impartial and confidential, and we're just here to help businesses succeed and grow. So why should you contact us? As I said, we're fully funded, so there is no cost to yourselves for contacting us or using our services. We're also impartial. So we are literally, the advice and support that we provide you is tailored to your business and is specifically what we feel is best for your business. We have a fantastic group of advisors, as I said, who are extremely experienced. They've all have a wealth of experience. They've all run their own businesses or are still currently running their own businesses. And they bring a diverse range of expertise to the Growth Hub for business owners to tap into. We're also well connected. We have access to an extensive network of business organisations and private companies and public organisations. We have a network of 90 partners. So if there is a question or a challenge that you are facing and you come to us with, if one of our advisors hasn't got the answer, then we're absolutely sure that we will have a partner or expert that we can refer you to and can provide you with expert advice. We also offer a really quality service. So we have a 99% satisfaction rating from businesses on our Recovery and Growth Programme and 100% satisfaction rating on our Pre-Accelerator Programme. So you can see we really do make a difference and provide a very high quality service to our clients. We also recognise the need for being confidential. So you can be rest assured that any sensitive information or anything you discuss with one of our advisors is in complete confidence. And we make a real difference. You know, the businesses we work with thousands of businesses each year, and the impact that we have on those businesses, the positive impact in terms of helping them recover from the pandemic, to access finance, to expand their teams, to develop growth strategies, to launch new products and enter new markets. There's some real tangible benefits because our advice and our support is extremely practical. And as I say, it's tailored to your business. It's not an off-the-shelf product. And we have an actual 91% satisfaction rating, impact rating. So businesses have said, actually 91% have said that the support and advice they've received from the Growth Hub has had a positive impact on their business. So our services, so how can we help you? What do we actually do? So we have a number of different access points for our services. So first of all, online information and resources. On our website, you'll find free and instant access to a range of resources and information. This currently includes a COVID-19 portal and a Brexit portal, which has all the latest up-to-date information on local and national support that's available from all the government schemes to organisations such as the Chamber of Commerce or the CIPD or FSB. So all the latest events, news, information on schemes, what you may be able to access, all brought together in one place. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for you to access the information that you need. We also provide expert advice and support by telephone, email and video conferencing. So if you have a question related to any aspect of business or any of the sort of national support schemes that have been launched, or you're facing a business challenge, then you can give us a call, email us, speak to one of our advisors. We'll arrange an appointment for you to access free support. We also have a huge range of events as well. So we run one-to-one advice clinics and half-day masterclasses. Typically these were face-to-face, they're now online due to the nature of the pandemic. But these are on different aspects of business. So for example, HR, legal advice, digital marketing, social media, leadership and management. So you can get practical skills either one-to-one in an advice clinic with an expert in that field, or as a 2 or 3 hour masterclass where we'll have a workshop of other business owners that you can also network with and an expert delivering the session. And again, the great thing is all our events are free for Berkshire-based businesses. We also have a marketplace on our website, which is our online business-to-business directory for Berkshire businesses. One of the things that we're very keen to do is connect Berkshire businesses with other Berkshire businesses. And one of the ways we do that is through our business-to-business directory. So if you run a business that has a service or product for other businesses, you can list yourself for free on that marketplace directory. You can also use it to search for local suppliers, to use someone locally, perhaps a marketing agency or a solicitor or an accountant, rather than somebody in another part of the country. Now we have some distinctive programs as well of support that will help businesses at different stages of their business journey. So for those who are entrepreneurs who are just starting a business, we have our pre-accelerator program, which I'll come on to talk about a bit more in a moment. We have our recovery and growth program, which is for established businesses that are looking to recover and grow. And we have a Scale Up Berkshire program, which are for businesses that are already turning over sort of £1 million a year, typically, and are really looking to scale and get to the next steps. And we have our new Peer Networks program as well, which is a peer-to-peer networking program that launched recently, and we'll be launching another program later in the year. So let me come on and tell you a little bit more about some of those particular services. So our coronavirus support, obviously this has been a huge thing for the last 12 months, as well as our online resources. As I said, we can provide one-to-one advice sessions with an advisor about any aspect of supporting businesses through the coronavirus pandemic. That includes any of the government support schemes, finance and funding options. So whether you were eligible for a grant or not, there could be other funding and finance options available to you to help you either recover or grow. And any other support services or building business resilience opportunities. We also have industry expertise. So we have, as I say, this network of 90 partners that all have their different specialisms. So we can cover all areas of business, and a recovery and growth program. So if I move on to our recovery and growth program, this is one of our key programs. So this provides a business with 12 hours of impartial tailored support, and that's delivered through a mix of one-to-one meetings with a assigned advisor that you'll work with typically for sort of 3 to 4 months. and industry experts, and that's our partners perhaps in legal, HR, marketing, social media areas, who can provide you with one-to-one advice and answer any questions you may have. You also have priority access to our events. So any of our clinics and masterclasses, you'll have priority to attend those. And we can connect and refer you to other relevant providers of support or support schemes that might be relevant to you. And there's also the chance to network with other business owners who are perhaps going through similar experiences as you, and able to then kind of widen your connections. So part of that programme is the development of a bespoke recovery or growth plan, which your business advisor will work with you on. But again, the programme is very tailored to your specific needs. It's not off the shelf. It is very much about what your ambitions are, what you want to achieve, and your needs. Now, so who is this relevant for? So this, as I said, is for Berkshire businesses, social enterprise or local charities that have got the potential to grow or recover and then grow. And typically that's 20% growth year on year, and the potential to create new jobs. And then we have our Scale Up Berkshire programme. This is a specialist support programme for leaders of ambitious scale up businesses. It provides one-to-one account management, sort of connecting, referring businesses to relevant help and support, and just having that opportunity to pick up the phone if you need any advice or you've got a question about something. So rather than sort of the business coaching model, this is more about an account management programme. And again, it's free independent advice, and there is an element of peer-to-peer networking in it as well. And as I say, this programme is particularly for those who are typically already turning over sort of £1 million per annum, and looking at 20% growth year on year. So that's our Scale Up programme. And our most recent programme is our Peer Networks programme. And this is a peer-to-peer networking programme designed to help businesses overcome challenges or seize opportunities by working through topics and challenges with other business owners in a sort of round table. So these are 9 online 2-hour group sessions delivered by an experienced facilitator with a group of non-competing business owners from non-competing sectors. In addition to that, you also have 3.5 hours of one-to-one support with one of our expert business advisors. So this programme is specifically for small or medium-sized businesses. You've got to be operating for at least a year, have 5 employees or more, and a turnover of around 100,000 or more. But that's very much a sort of group sessions and networking with other business owners to work through challenges and opportunities that you may be facing. And then, as I said, we have lots of different events. You can find these all on the event section of our website. So we run monthly one-to-one advice clinics where you can have an hour of free expert advice with a member of our partner network. And that could be on accounting, digital marketing, as I said, export and trade. Our export and international trade clinic, for instance, is run by an expert from Department of International Trade and also Europe Enterprise Network as well. We have a legal advice clinic, which is run for us kindly by a number of legal partners, legal practices in Berkshire, and also IT, GDPR and cybersecurity. And these are updated and changed all the time. So we're constantly finding out what business is needing and putting on events to match that. And as well as our one-to-one advice clinics, we have also our one-to-many events. So we have 2 to 3 hour webinars on topics. The next one coming up on the 28th of April is leadership and management. And after that, then in May, we have one on social media for business. So these give you really practical tools and advice and strategies so that you can put into your business straight away. So they're not theory-based, they're not just a lecture, they are actually interactive, they are practical information that you can start using in your business straight away that will make a real difference. And just I wanted to go through a couple of sort of latest government announcements really. So we obviously want to keep our businesses up to date on the latest government schemes and support that they may be eligible for. So obviously the coronavirus job retention scheme, also known as the furlough scheme, has now been extended until the 30th of September. So this is where the government will pay 80% of furloughed workers' wage costs. Now that's up until the end of June. And then from July, employers will be expected then to pay a contribution of 10% towards those hours not worked. And that then increases in August and September to 20%. But that scheme has now been extended until the end of September to help with the recovery of businesses from the pandemic. There's also been the Restart Grants scheme that has been announced. So these are now available to non-essential retail businesses, hospitality, accommodation, leisure, personal care and gym businesses. Now these are administered through local authorities. So if you are a business in those sectors, please do check out your local council website. If you look on our website, we do have links for those on our coronavirus portal. But those are grants that are available, and all the eligibility criteria is on the council website. And thirdly, we have, there's currently the £20 million SME Brexit Support Fund. Now this is grants of up to 2,000 to help small businesses with their custom procedures, rules of origin, VAT rules, with trading with the EU. Obviously, there's been a number of changes as a result of the UK leaving the EU. So this is a support scheme to help those businesses with exporting. And this is, again, the money can be used for practical support and training and professional advice. Now, again, there's full details of that on our website and the government website, and businesses can apply before the 30th of June. If you have any questions about any of those government announcements, any government scheme that's running, then please do contact us. We can provide advice and support and let you know about the eligibility criteria. And again, all information is also on our website. So unsurprisingly, one of the biggest questions that we get asked is about financial support and financial options. So my colleague Tony Cross has kindly joined us to provide a little bit of information on the kind of financial support options and schemes that are out there and available for businesses, depending on what stage your business is at and what might be relevant. So I'm going to swiftly hand over to Tony, but there will be all our contact details on the end of this presentation. And if you have any questions, then please do get in touch with us. We're here to support Berkshire businesses. There's a lot of help and support out there. There's a lot of information, and we are here to help you navigate that and make sure that you're accessing all the support that you need. So Tony, if I hand over to you.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, Sean, as well. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, just to give you a little bit of overview, if you like, of how we can help where finance and funding is involved, if that is applicable to you. First thing to say about this is, where do we fit in? And I think the first thing to say here is that, for businesses at any stage, raising finance corporately is often a very challenging and difficult experience. And if you've not done it before or you're not used to it, getting some help from people who understand the market and how it works can be invaluable. So it's quite useful sometimes just to be able to pick up the phone and talk to us. As Natasha has said, we're independent and fully funded, so you can come to us for some free and impartial advice. That kind of advice can typically be about looking at your own situation. It might be looking at what your needs are in terms of finance, getting the right amount in terms of what you're seeking, finding out who the best providers are, possibly explaining how you best go about that, or helping you prepare all the necessary information that you would need to support an application. So we can help you at each stage of that journey, or even if you're already partway through it and you've reached a point where there are some obstacles to getting your funding in place, it may well be that there's something there that we can help guide you with to maybe unlock a difficult situation. So people do come to us at all stages and with all kinds of finance needs. And that could be finance that is based around debt funding. It could be finance where you're seeking to raise equity in your business for your business, or it could just be simple short-term cash flow needs. Okay, so the first thing to say then obviously is business. Finance is critical, as we all know, for any company. It's the lifeblood of the business, and it's the most important aspect of its operation. Last year with the pandemic, government were very quick to realise that with the first lockdown, if businesses became starved of funds because they were unable to trade or because supply chains were becoming inhibited, that could quickly stifle a business to a point where it might even have to fold. So they put in place a number of schemes to try and make sure funding did still reach companies as they needed it. Some of these schemes, I'm sure, are probably very familiar to many of you. Many of you may even have applied or succeeded in obtaining finance through them. So the first two of those on that slide are ones that are no longer in place, but they might be ones that you've seen and had reference to. And those are the CBILS, or the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan, or the BBLS, which is the Bounce Back Loan Scheme. And the Bounce Back Loan was obviously a response to the fact that some of the CBILS loans were taking too long. The application process was following a traditional, bank type lending path, which can take many weeks. And at that time, government wanted to get money out quickly, and the application for the bounce back loan was therefore switched online. And many businesses obtained money in a matter of days through that scheme. And those are very, very advantageous terms attached to both of those. Lately, both of those, as you may well know, have now stopped, and they've been replaced by what's called the Recovery Loan Scheme, which is, if you like, the government's way of making sure that with those schemes ending, that finance for business doesn't suddenly come to a halt. The Recovery Loan Scheme effectively doesn't have all the advantages that came with the CBILS and the bounce back loans, but nevertheless, there are some important advantages attached to it. The first of those is the fact that the loans are to be offered by obviously all the traditional lenders. So the expectation is, as the British Business Bank approve different businesses, more and more providers will come forward. At the moment, those providers are typically the main high street banks. So it could well be that before very long, your own bank will offer you the opportunity to apply for a recovery loan if you need one. These loans have the advantage that the government is underwriting the funds in such a way for the lender to be able to offer this money without the need for the typical personal guarantee that you'd be expected to give when borrowing money. So these are for loans of between £25,000 all the way up to 10 million. But for loans of up to 250,000, they can be provided without the need for any security. And that means either the form of a personal guarantee or the need to offer up any security in the terms in the nature of, say, a property, for instance. So the good thing here is that you are free of those obligations. However, obviously, the loans themselves will follow the typical lender's criteria when it comes to lending money. So expect to have to be providing all the relevant information in the form of annual accounts, recent management information, possibly business plans, forecasts, and obviously some statements and expect your business to be looked at in the typical way you would associate a lender doing when they're seeking to obtain you money. One of the caveats they have put on the recovery loan scheme is they've asked those lenders to take, shall we say, a considerate view around any impact on the business that's happened as a result of the pandemic. So it could well be that if you've had a difficult year as a result of that, that obviously your performance of the business in that year would not be seen to be the overriding factor, and that they would take into consideration your performance of the business prior to the pandemic, and also your expectation of its future recovery and growth. So that hopefully that one bad year wouldn't necessarily mean that you couldn't obtain support because of it. So obviously what we can do here is, as you say, help guide you in terms of how best to go about making those applications and how to give yourself the best chance of being successful. The other thing to say is that also we're part of the local enterprise partnership, the Thames Valley LEP. And as such, the LEP does, as you can see from the slide, run its own funding escalator, which is a fund that is run by a company called the FSE Group. And what they do is they have a fund of money available to them to give out to deserving businesses in the form of either debt funding or, if necessary, or if preferred, in the form of some equity. Or it can even be a combination of both. They do these awards of payments up to 300,000, And they will be typically looking for businesses who maybe have come short of what's expected of a business when borrowing money through a traditional source such as your bank. So it may well be that if, for instance, you haven't got the full sets of accounts in place, if perhaps your revenues are not yet where they need to be, or if your bank are a little bit reticent about supporting you with your project, you could make representations through us to the FSC group to get financial support that way. So they will look on the case in a much more person-to-person basis and not be bound by some of the regulations and requirements, should we say, that the banks typically have to use when they assess a loan application. But nevertheless, they will look at typical referencing and typical background checks that you would expect them to do. But that might be an alternative to you if, for instance, you found that the door's not open when you've gone to traditional lenders to try and get support for a project. Then, of course, you've got startup loans. These loans are available to new start businesses. And this scheme has been going, it's a government sponsored scheme that's been going now for more than a decade and offers, every year thousands of loans to start up businesses. So it's a really, really popular and useful way of funding a new business. One of the most common things I find with new companies starting out is it's very easy to underestimate just how much money you'll need to get the business up and established. And that can mean that you get off to a slow start, or perhaps you don't market enough, perhaps you don't see all the full extent of demand that's out there for your product or service, simply because you don't make enough impact. And that could have been because you've had to tailor back on what you're trying to do, simply because you don't have the money to do all that you'd want to do. Well, if that's the case, or if you've got an idea in mind that is going to need funding, through a startup loan, you can obtain up to £25,000 in the name of any director, where you will be able to borrow that money over a term of up to 5 years, with no fees attached to it, at an interest rate of around 6%. So it's actually quite easy and simple, straightforward lending that will base its decision on the quality of your business plan and a financial forecast. So it's, again, tailored to businesses that are both pre-revenue as well as those businesses who are trading. And in fact, you can get a startup loan all the way up to when you've been trading for a fully 2 years. So although it talks about it as a startup, a business that's under 2 years of trading can apply for one of these loans. So it's good to know that there's various options out there, right the way from starting up a business all the way through to scaling it up. The other options are as well out there. So it may well be that you need some simple cash flow help, maybe getting invoices paid more quickly by financing them through a discount scheme. Maybe what you need is to buy a new asset or a vehicle for your business. So there's asset finance. And all of those options are available both under the recovery loan scheme as well as from traditional lenders, and indeed non-high street lenders as well, if we need to look beyond the typical providers. So again, by coming to us and talking to us about what it is you need, we'd hope to be able to suggest, one of a range of options for you to consider, and maybe assist you along the way to making sure your business gets all the money that it needs. Because obviously we appreciate that without that, all the best plans are really not going to be able to come to fruition. So hopefully we'll catch up and do approach us if you need any help. As I say, the contact details are about to follow. I'll hand back to Natasha. Thank you.
I'll take over, Tony. Oh, sorry, Natasha. My apologies.
I was going to say, yeah, thanks, Tony. So yeah, if any business in Bracknell wants to contact us, we've got our details there. You can call, email us, check out our website, and have a look at what we can offer you, and do give us a call or email us. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, I'll jump in there. So thank you very much, Natasha, and thank you, Tony, for joining us today. That's the end of our webinar. As Natasha mentioned, if you have any questions, please follow the information that's on screen there to contact the Berkshire Business Hub. If you've, and if you'd like to learn more about how they can support your business, please contact the information. If you'd like to learn more about the Bracknell BID and ways to get involved, please visit our website, www.bracknellbid.com. bracknellbid.co.uk, or Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn at Bracknell BID, or contact us via email inquiries@bracknellbid.co.uk. Thanks very much to everyone for joining us today, and thank you again to Natasha and Tony.
Thanks very much, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.